Hey everyone, Bass Fishing Obsession here and out in the shop. It's nighttime and we're at 40 degrees right now. I'm going to go over some modifications I'm doing to rod socks. Okay, most rod socks, if not all of them, are made out of some type of woven mesh plastic material. And some are really expensive and some are not. Depends on if you get logos or something on them. But I just want the generic kind. You know, I like the black and green color scheme. And I found some on eBay that were fairly cheap, and then I found out why. Most of your rod socks end up with a tip like this, so they can fit into the rod box. These had a tip like this. I didn't know that until after I got them. And I asked why they were like this, and they said, well, you can use them to hang them up in a garage or wherever your fishing room is. Well, yeah, that doesn't work too well for me because, number one, as you can see in the difference in the shape, these will fit into a rod tube a lot easier than these will. And also, I noticed the rod tips were actually sticking out the sides. And we just couldn't have that. So I sat there and I thought about it, and went back on eBay and I got some plastic tubing and thought I'm going to modify these a bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tip of this and I'm going to cut the tip off, and then I'm going to cut a small piece of the plastic tubing, and then what I'm going to do is I'll try to open it up. Sometimes it seals itself up like vacuum. Vacuum like seals itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip this over the top of the piece that we just cut off. Okay. Now what I did here is I left about an inch above it, and I'm going to take my heat gun. So what we're going to do is it'll basically just turn into a big glob of black and green. But we want to melt that really good, that way the rod tip does not actually pierce through it. And then slowly work down the plastic tubing. It's going to turn this into like a big molten mess right now. We actually want it to like liquefy itself. Okay, now what I'm doing next is I have an old hook here. It's like a 5/0 hook. You could use anything, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually push down on the end of it here to get the plastic and the rod sock to like basically bond together. And basically this is what you got here. It's really solid. That's really solid. I mean, that's rod tip's not going to go through that. And if you notice, like I said, this here is a lot better than that. So if you end up getting rod socks like this, you know, if you pay, you know, if you can get them really cheap, go ahead and do this, and then get some plastic tubing. You know, you could save yourself a couple bucks. And I got a lot of time to kill right now, so, you know, I got some work ahead of me. I got 16 of these to do, and should be a good evening. So just wanted to throw that out to you, and see you on the water.